Hello. So here's a very quick video about pre and post fade sends. What I've got here is in Cubase just a recording of a metallic hit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an FX track and add Roomworks to it. Make sure it's stereo, output stereo, create inside folder. We'll give it the name reverb 1. Let's just give it a little bit more reverb. Still nothing. What I have to do now is I have to send some sound from this channel to the reverb. And I do that by highlighting the channel that I want to send sound from, getting a send, and here it says post. So if I'm inserting something into this, it'll initially be post fader, and I'll tell you what post means in a second. So I click on these sends and I can see reverb 1 highlighted, so I send to reverb 1. I have an on off switch, and when it's orange it's post fader. So here's what happens. If I show my fader and I show my mix window briefly as well, if I can fit this all on screen. Like this, I can see my Roomworks has popped up as an insert on a channel. And here's my send there. Okay, a little bit loud. Let's just drop the amount of reverb, or the amount that we send to the reverb. So not only is the amount that we send controllable, but this is post fader. So if I automate this now and I drop the fader here, so you can see it drop here, what do we get? Nothing. So the send, whatever goes here, happens after what comes out live or unaltered. If we change this to pre-fade, now we need to think about what we control prior to any of the real sound, the original sound happening, dry if you like. So we can find our send and alter its level. So now even if I have no sound going out dry, I can control how much I send. See the blue line going up and down. And although it's coming only from the send, you're still hearing some of the original sound because we've got a mix of wet and dry in the reverb. So if we make that only wet, I can control how much wet and dry I have from these levels. Which is kind of interesting when you have a more dynamic sound. I was using PP1. Let's just get PP2 down. So if I download that quickly, just cut that and put that in this this folder here, if I add this, I can take a section of kind of dynamic material. Let's just listen to it without any reverb. And at various points I can send, irrespective of what the dry volume is doing, I can send a splash of the sound to the reverb. You need to time it correctly. That looks okay. So we get to that attack and a little bit of it goes to reverb. And then, as we have a kind of swish gesture, we can fade it out completely. Again, send a little bit of the tail end of the swish to reverb. And we've kind of created a natural close to the sound. And with reverb, you don't need to worry about the output because the reverb dies away naturally. So that's an introduction to pre and post fade sends.